whoever is watching and whoever is interested in a Guardian Awaken guide, that's gonna be a guide for new players mainly, but well, whoever is interested and whoever gonna find it useful, that's amazing. I hope it will help, or at least work as baseline for someone's own build. I'm playing Guardian since it was released. I think it was 2019 or something like that. I had several breaks and stuff, but that put aside, this combo is like not very different than you're gonna probably see other people doing, because Guardian is kind of limited with what it can offer and all the skills and stuff. But the main difference is, I think, in my combo and the other combos is that I've been really thinking on what I want to achieve by doing any kind of skill, and when I'm designing any kind of a combo for any kind of character I'm playing in, to be honest, any game, I'm always trying to find not min-max way to actually do it, but I'm always trying to find a way to be as efficient and also as chill in what I'm doing as possible. I don't like all kind of like idea of elitism and min-maxing and stuff. That's why I'm always trying to be, as I'm saying, as efficient and simply just enjoy the game in the same time. So that was the main purpose of me doing this combo and all the add-ons and everything. So that's, I would say, it's like a quick intro. So if you're interested in this kind of guide, then I hope you're gonna find it helpful. And well, enjoy. So this guide is gonna be divided in several sections. I'm gonna start with Guardian pros and cons. If you are a new player, probably like that's gonna be very helpful for you to know what kind of role Guardian have and what this class can offer. On top of that, I'm just gonna go through Rabams, my locked skills. Well, I'm gonna tell you which one you can lock. I don't have everything locked because I'm not using them anyway, but that aside. Then I'm gonna go through add-ons, the actual combo, the movement, and possible variations of movement, and then I'm gonna finish it with like useful tips on the actual class, like what can be utilized to achieve a bit more than this class, like offer from the base. About the class pros and cons. Guardian Awaken, the biggest pros I would say is just the big AoEs. This class have very good AoEs. Most of those skills are either like big cons in front of her or 360 around her, like this skill here, God Incinerator, it's Shift Q. So that's the biggest pros of this class. Also, this class is very tanky and have like really good damage. Let's be honest, because just going by skill and stuff, she have a critical hit damage passive and all AP passive, which is very helpful, especially this critical hit damage part. On top of that, her other passive heals you every single time you deal damage, which is doubled in Awaken. So some people kind of confuse the skill. Just to explain, Dragon's Calling works this way. If you're using any kind of a damage skill, if you're holding your axe in one hand, you're gonna heal yourself 100 HP. If you're gonna hold it in two hands, you're gonna heal yourself 200 HP. It's doubled when you have Jordan, which is Awakened Weapon. So, just sheer example, this skill gonna heals you 200 HP. Just for using and hitting something. It's not per use, it's on use if you hit something. It's not like, for example, let's say Striker or Mystic have when you're gonna click LMB and RMB, Roaring Tiger, and you're gonna heal yourself just per skill use, or Warrior S plus LMB, whatever. This skill needs to actually hit something to be able to heal you. Then, if you're gonna be in Awaken, every single skill in Awaken is considered two-handed. So every single skill, every single instance of damage gonna heal you 400 HP. So just to be clear, for example, this skill gonna heal you 400, 400, and 400. That's why Guardian is very good class for new starters and for all like low geared players, because this class does not require as much gear as the other classes does. The sole reason is because of the AP passive, critical hit damage passive, also this innate healing. We also have a block and stuff, so we can tank some damage. We have some iframes, so we can dodge some attacks and stuff like that. And also the AoEs, we may be slow, but we cover a lot of area with our skills. So that being said, honestly, these probably gonna be only two pros Guardian have. As I'm saying, good AoEs, good healing, low gear requirements, because you can cover a lot of things with just your passives and stuff. But then with cons, we have Guardian being extremely slow. Guardian is the slowest class in the game, and it's horrible. You need to maintain buffs all the time to keep her running, because without those, she's just like close to unplayable. Especially in nowadays meta when everyone is so fast, everyone is just running on super speed and just teleporting around you and stuff like that. Then Guardian is extremely strong on medium, like mid-game spots and like early end-game spots, especially like the Hakia spots and all the tower spots, Izrahid, or like all these kinds of spots when you don't have to move much. She's amazing. But the more you have to rely on back attacks, the more you have to rely on movement, the more you have to actually jump around the enemy, the more Guardian becomes weaker. Especially you can see it on the shrine bosses. If you're gonna look even here, let's do it like, I don't know, something like that. We have 6 minutes. It's not actually a bad time, then 8 and 12. But then we're gonna take a look on what we can say. My other main is Mystic. You have 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5, 5, 5, 7. And the pick is kind of easy, honestly. The whole point is that a lot of classes tends to have way better times. But right now I see people actually getting better with Guardian also, so it's not as bad as it was. The problem with Guardian is that, especially on shrine bosses, we have gaps in our iframes. We need to use the dodge roll and stuff like that. So, but that's aside. So that's good. That's the other thing from the cons, and also another one, Guardian Awaken. That's actually a very big con. She rely a lot on super armors and healing, but we do not have a lot of frontal blocks, which means if you're gonna go on any kind of spot that deals a lot of damage, for example, or Zakia, when the mobs can hit hard, or I don't know, maybe Ash Forest Dahakia 2 or something like that. This one not as much as before, but still, she tends to struggle because we will have a lot of super armors, but we are stationary, so we're gonna get hit. We need to heal it up, and we need to withstand the damage. It's not like we can tank it on forward blocks like some other classes and attack in the same time or heal in the same time when we are blocking. We healing all the time, but then we tanking damage all the time. So depending on your gear, depending on the situation, Guardian can be very dodgy, because sometimes you just have to tank all the damage that it's going through. That's why I know it's not optimal, and I know a lot of people would say it's bad. I'm slowly changing to Kazarats, but then I tend to focus more on DP than on AP. Because with Guardian, I can cover a lot from, as I said before, passives and my skills and buffs. So I do not need as much AP as other classes, but I need DP to actually be able to grind some particular spots, because I cannot dodge some attacks. I need to just face tank them. So just to wrap it up, the 2 or maybe 3 biggest pros Guardian have gonna be big AoEs, low gear requirements, and very good healing. But then we have plenty of cons, which is rather bad scaling in the late game, being extremely slow, having only forward guards, only super armors, but not the forward guards, at least not as many, struggling with bug attacks, struggling with movement, because this class is very clunky and stuff like that. So it's very good class for a new player, but the better gear you have and better player you are, the more you will see that this class kind of handicaps you, at least to some degree. I'm not saying to not play this class, because for a very long time before you're gonna gear up and everything, this class gonna be just amazingly good. But then at some point you may consider swapping or tagging something else. Maybe till that time PA gonna decide to rework the class or buff it to some extent or do something with it. Let's hope so. Rabams. Guardian Rabams are useless. Let's be honest. Nothing good about it. These two skills, Pulverization and Merciless Smash, both of them are useless. Whichever you're gonna pick, it's fine. I would say this one is even worse than this one, so I would go with Pulverization. But these skills, I don't know. I actually never used it. Maybe on Succession because it's a bit faster, but on Awaken it's unusable. Almost Circle. This one is actually good because good as it goes. It's good for pulling mobs. It have very good AOE. Applies your passive debuff. So, well, this passive debuff is useless in PvE anyway, but just pulls mobs, so it's fine. And then we have Mountain Echo and Sturdy Smite. This one is better because it have a super armor, so that's all the reason. It's just the movement skill. Helps moving from pack to pack, but the cooldown is extremely long, so you're probably gonna rely on something else. But if you are out of movement skills, this one is way to go. So then we have locked skills. In Awaken, probably you want to lock this one straight away, Infernal Steps. This skill is completely useless. It's never being used. But beside that, most of the skills have some kind of usage. Scalding Thorn is not very good, but it can be used. From the main, from Non-Awaken, skills that you want to block, this one is completely useless, this one is completely useless. Merciless Kick. Merciless Kick stuns you in animation. This skill gives you iframe, and it's very good pack to pack, sorry, not pack to pack, but around the pack movement. You can just hold and spam. I'm gonna turn this thing on so it's actually visible. You can just hold it like so and spam the skill. If you would have this on, it's gonna look like so, which is completely useless. And it's unprotected when used on cooldown, stuns you and locks you in animation. It have uses if you're not spamming this skill and you want to reposition, but that's all. So I would recommend blocking this skill. Then we have all these types of skills. So honestly, you will not be using almost any of the skills. Beast, Demolisher, block this skill. This skill is just disgrace. We will probably not use any of the skills, at least not intentionally. So I would say leave them unlocked in case you would like to use them because of any reason. But those skills I'm showing right now, you can actually block. This one also, Torso Reaper, this one is also disgrace. And then we have a movement skills. Evasion, this one is not so bad, where we can actually utilize it. I have it locked because just I like it locked, but especially on Shrine, it's now okay-ish. This one is completely useless. This one, just block it. And this one is going into our movements. So if you have it on, it gonna actually prevent you from some skills in regards of movement. So this one, keep it locked. You can actually either keep this one on level 3 or lock it completely, because level 3 Frenzy have shorter animation and does not lock you in animation. Absolute Frenzy actually keeps you locked in animation for a bit longer, and well, does not offer anything, to be honest, besides very short super armor and can be used as a catch in PvP. But, well, sometimes I'm using it, that's why I have it unlocked. So that's about locked and unlocked skills. As I'm saying, with Guardian, you're gonna stick mostly to Awaken anyway, and you're gonna be practically always in Awaken. Yeah, practically always in Awaken you're gonna be. So you probably will not go and use non-Awaken because it's just simply too slow. That's the issue I mentioned in cons. Guardian is extremely slow, and it's even more visible in non-Awaken stance. That's why you want to stick to Awaken as much as possible and go into non-Awaken only in the very critical situations, or if you want to do something very specific. My add-ons are designed a way to complement the combo as much as it possibly can. I'm still thinking where should I add the down attack damage, but for now that's how it looks like. I like to have very specific add-ons on very specific skills. For example, this skill offers you all evasion rate minus 3% on 10 seconds from the base. And that's the debuff this skill gives. That's why I have all accuracy rate plus 5 and all evasion rate minus 5. Therefore, it just gives that much more of this effect that these skills offer from the base anyway. All evasion minus all evasion debuff in PvE is not as important as it was in the past, because we have a lot of accuracy anyway, but I simply like it, because sometimes you may be missing some accuracy. I like to have 100% or over 100%. I like to be sure that whatever I'm doing is always going through. That's why I have it like this. On God Incinerator I have all DP, because the skill gives all DP from the base, and also critical hit damage, because Guardian struggles with back attacks, and not on every skill we have down attack. Therefore, I tend to focus on critical hit damage, as it's always there, because Guardian have always 100% critical hit rate. Then we have Cleansing Flame. Cleansing Flame have back attack and attack speed, because before I'm using Cleansing Flame, I'm mostly repositioning myself. Therefore, I can land at least 1 or 2 skills in the back of the enemy. And attack speed, which helps with virtually everything what you're doing. Then I have Dragon's Maw, which also have all DP minus 20, because this skill have gigantic AoE in front of you and have the base of all DP minus 20. It's a stand, but it's on level 1. On level 3 it have 20, so it's the same as God Incinerator, and also critical hit damage for bigger bonk. Then Fireborn Rapture. A lot of people don't like this skill. I honestly like it, and most Guardian mains gonna tell you or tell me that those add-ons are bad. Critical hit rate plus 30% and movement speed plus 10%. And it's completely right. They're gonna be right. I'm just using it because the sole purpose of my own playstyle and my own preference. We have a passive which gives us 5% per stack up to 10 times. 5% critical hit rate. This passive stacks you up on 50% critical hit rate permanently. Plus, you have this critical hit rate, 18%. Plus, on every skill, you have some, not on every, but on most of the skills, you have critical hit rate multipliers, like 20%, 30%, 50%, sometimes even 100%. For example, this one have 100%, so it's always guaranteed crit. This one have like 50%. So passive alone and this skill alone gives you 100% critical hit rate. Therefore, you don't need this skill to be 30% critical hit rate. And I'm thinking about changing it to be 5% down attack damage. I need to test it, because the whole reason why I have it is not always your passive is fully stacked. When you're grinding, you most likely will have it fully stacked, but sometimes there is like a transition phase on the spot, or there is like a just a breakdown of some sort. For example, on Kadri, when nothing's happening because the spot is thinking what to do and you're standing like stupid for like 20 seconds waiting for mobs to show up. Or for example, Izrahid, when the Sekulon is just exploding with the energy and killing everything around you. Those things does not stack your passive, as far as I remember, because you're not hitting anything. So you losing this 50% critical hit rate. So you physically don't have it before you're gonna start attacking again. So for those few seconds, you're missing this critical hit rate. It's not a big deal. That's why it's all just a preference. As I said, I prefer it this way, but I'm thinking about changing it. Honestly, I'm constantly changing those things and reviewing my add-ons and combo and everything, to be as optimal as I can be with as little effort as I can put into it. The movement speed helps with reposition on the Frost Slide. Frost Slide is your dodge direction plus shift. It's scale with movement speed. So more movement speed you have, the further you go. This skill gives 10% from base, plus this skill gives you 20%. So you're going that much further, just a tiny bit further, but it's always a bit easier for reposition. And then Flow to Ashes. Flow to Ashes gives us 30% monster and 10% attack speed. It's for a pre-buff phase of my combo. Some people gonna use this this particular add-ons, attack speed and monster attack, on this skill, Glorious Advance. Because this skill gives you 20% attack speed and you're gonna use this skill. Also, some people tend to use Core. I'm using Core always. Core, Scornful / in PvE. Some people tend to prefer Glorious Advance. I'm using only one hit from Glorious Advance, nothing else, nothing more. Because this skill does not offer much anyway. No AoE, no damage. This skill is only for your buff. This 20% attack speed for 20 seconds. If you prefer to use it on this skill, feel free to do so. But the point is that add-ons does not stack and does not replace each other going up. Which means this skill, as it have only 5-second cooldowns, is considered Tier 1 add-on, which means it's gonna give you the same buffs, but for a shorter period. Let me show you here. We have Flow to Ashes, gives us extra AP against monster 30 for 12 seconds and attack speed, casting speed 10% for 12 seconds. If we're gonna replace it with Glorious Advance, you will have it extra AP for 7 seconds, not 12, and attack speed for 7 seconds, not 12. Which means, if you're gonna do combo, those buffs gonna vanish before you're gonna finish your combo. So you're losing this extra attack speed and extra damage. Therefore, you will need to add those particular add-ons on other skills to cover this period of not having them. But if you're gonna do that, you're gonna lose something else, because, well, you need to sacrifice different add-ons to cover those extra AP and extra attack speed and casting speed. With Tier 2 add-on, which lasts for 12 seconds, you will have this buff always. You will have permanent upkeep of these two buffs. Even if you're gonna have to reposition yourself a bit more or something, it's very easy to put them back on, because it's in your pre-buff phase. I'm gonna explain more about it in the combo section, but having it for this extra few seconds helps to cover entire combo, instead of just having it for like a half and then being in need for other skill to have exactly same add-ons. That's why I can focus on critical hit damage, permanent upkeep, back attack damage, some upkeep, and other things. So it just offers approach like that offers a bit more flexibility in what you want to do and how you want to do. Also, I have attack speed and casting speed on more than one skill, just for a sole reason of if this AP against monster gonna disappear or something, I can deal with that. But attack speed is crucial on Guardian. You always need to have 100% upkeep, whatever happens. So that's the reason why I have it this way. So about add-ons, that's it. And those add-ons are in very particular order also, because, well, it's gonna be explained more in a combo section in a moment. But as I'm saying, that's my add-ons. Most of the time I'm playing with those add-ons. And the only thing I'm thinking about is changing critical hit rate on this skill for extra down attack damage for those 5 seconds. It's not much, but it should last for entire God Incinerator cast and probably Dragon's Maw and Howling Light cast. I will explain a bit more in the combo section. But the whole point is that not every Guardian skill have down attack damage. That's why I'm not focused that much on... when I was designing those combos, I wasn't thinking about it to, that extent. This one have down attack damage, but somehow when I'm using it, it never actually shows down attack damage, which is kind of weird. Anyways. The combo is extremely simple. It's infinite loop. You can loop the skills however you want, in any order you want. The only thing you need to focus about is repositions, because that's the main thing about Guardian. Keeping yourself on the back of your enemy for as long as you can, keeping yourself repositioning all the time. Because you are slow, you're gonna be tanking damage with your face, you need to heal up and everything. So the more you reposition, the more you move around, the better it is for you. Guardian offers some good reposition skills. So yes, someone may consider repositions as a DPS loss, and person like that wouldn't be mistaken and wouldn't be wrong. But the point is that if we're gonna stand in place and just cast skill by skill, we're gonna find ourselves without any skills, because our cooldowns are bad. Especially if we have Z buff on, or we constantly have our attack speed buffs on, and we have a Shy in team or something that are gonna buffs us even further for more attack speed, then we're gonna find ourselves constantly off cooldowns. And as a Guardian, we do not have any filler damage. We do not have any skills that can cover this period when we're waiting for a big hit. So, first and foremost, the big hits Guardian have. The big hit number one, it's God Incinerator. That's one of our stronger skills. And the other one is Dragon's Maw and Howling Light. Just 2 hits. That's 1 hit, and second, that's a flow that always goes after if you're gonna hold the LMB. So that's our biggest damage skills. Then, this whole combo relies around those 2 skills and our other, let's call it lower damage skills, but well, that's all we have, so we need to work around what we have. So the pre-buff phase constant of, I have them on the quick bar for just better and easier use for me, because this one can be used out of the quick bar, just like so. After a dodge, if you're gonna click LMB, you're gonna use Flow to Ashes, or you can also use it after Cleansing Flame. But those uses I consider clunky, to be honest, because it's not clunky in a way of the character design, it's just clunky in my own personal opinion. I need to have a particular flow in what I'm doing and how I'm doing on the character. Somehow I do not feel this flow when I'm doing it this way. I feel kind of forced to do it, similar to Awaken Megu, when you need to use particular order of the skills to have your buff up, your passive up. So kind of I'm feeling like forced to do it. I do not have the flow and like my own possibilities to do something else. I need to do it in order, like a skill number 1, then skill number 2, other way it will not work at all. I don't like it. That's why I'm always using it from the quick bar. So my pre-buff phase, pre-buff combo on Guardian always goes like Firebone Rapture, Flow to Ashes, and one hit Glorious Advance. That's my pre-buff phase. Why I'm calling it pre-buff? Because this skill gives me all these add-ons, which are not important right now, but what's important is it gives you all AP plus 20 for 10 seconds. So you're already, as you can see, I'm 9-3, 9-4-3. So already that much AP I have. Then I'm going with Flow to Ashes for extra 30 AP. You can see it straight away here, 9-7-3. So if you're gonna pair it all together, you have plus 50 AP when you are on spot. Especially if you are under recommended AP on particular spot, it gives you straight away plus 50. It's amazing. Then this skill gives me that extra attack speed, and then a Glorious Advance, which is this skill, also gives me attack speed. So from those 3 skills, from this very quick pre-buff, I have all the skills I need to carry on my entire combo and just do whatever I want, however I want, just, you know, carry on damaging enemies and stuff like that. Entire combo consists of skills as follow, which is, first I'm gonna just name it skill by skill, and then I'm just gonna proceed showing it up. I'm starting with Firebone Rapture, then I'm going Flow to Ashes, then one hit cancel Glorious Advance. Then after one hit cancel Glorious Advance, I'm going straight into God Incinerator. Then I'm gonna either reposition myself on the back of enemy and carry on with Cleansing Flame and Dragon Maw and Howling Light, or simply I'm just gonna use those skills without reposition. Most likely I'm gonna reposition myself before I'm gonna cast those for those juicy back attacks, if it's possible. Then I'm going, again, either reposition myself or straight away casting skill of Searing Fang. Depending on the situation, I'm using two hits or 2 hits and the Flow Suppress. Then, again, reposition. That reposition is necessary, and I'm using Scornful Slash. Why it's necessary, I'm gonna show now. So, just to present the combo as it is, Firebone Rapture, Flow to Ash, Glorious Advance, God Incinerator, Reposition, Cleansing, Maw, Reposition, Soaring, and now, if I wouldn't reposition, what will happen? I'm gonna use only 1 hit. What I mean, if I'm gonna reposition myself and use this skill, which was Scornful Slash, I'm gonna use 2 hits. And I have, as its core, I have a Frontal Guard. So it's very, very usable, and that's actually good skill, and also heals you 800 HP. So it's nice, nice stuff. But if you're gonna use it after Flow Suppress, bear with me, how was the cancel? Yeah, like that. If you're gonna use it after this, you're gonna use only 1 hit. Yes. And we have several skills that only 1 hit goes after particular uses. It's extremely annoying, because it stuns you for almost entire animation anyway. The cast time is almost exactly the same as you would use the normal version of the skill. That's the normal version. And that's the short version. So in the end, you're just losing your upkeep of Frontal Guard, and you actually losing a damage. It's completely useless cancel. I have no idea why PA decided to cut this skill in half and add it as a 1 hit after particular other skills. It's unusable, in my personal opinion. They should just, if they wanted to make it better, they should just speed up the animation after particular skills. For example, after this skill, which is the Scalding Thorn, you should use the Scalding Thorn and then just faster animation of Scornful Slash. That would be way better, way more useful than it is right now. But anyways, so going once again with the combo and showing how I would do it in PvE, for example. Let's go here. That would look something like that. we have a pre-buff, then I'm repositioning myself for back attacks. He's still facing back to me, so I'm just gonna do like that. And that's the end of the combo. You can straight away go back to looping it again and again. Because if you're gonna do it this way, as I just showed, your cooldown's gonna be always up. At least as long as you don't have a shy in your team. This thing I've done right now, that's an addition from non-awaken if you want to be a bit more fancy, but it's not required. As long as you're keeping your as long as you're keeping your cooldowns up and your repositions, you will never find yourself out of cooldowns, because that's the whole purpose of repositions, to keep your cooldowns going and to keep you on the back of the enemy. And by doing so, you can just endlessly loop it and just carry on dealing damage all the time without almost any downtimes. And as I said, you can use non-awaken transition for Gatecrusher, but it's just preference. It's not required in any way. It's not necessary. The Gatecrusher skill have like solid damage and solid range, so it's good, but it's not mandatory in any way. As a new player, I would highly recommend you to stick to Awaken and just keep on mastering something like that, so you're gonna get as fluid, as proficient, and as confident in doing that as it's possible. So it's just gonna be like your muscle memory, so you can do it all the time. Because if you have to reposition yourself a bit more, because sometimes mobs gonna turn quicker and you cannot use any back attacks, or for example, you know that you're gonna die because the mob gonna attack you or something, and you have to reposition. That's not an issue. You can reposition and then you're just going back into combo. And I'm gonna show it right now. For example, I'm doing my normal combo and I see this mob gonna attack me right now, and I have to dodge, and I have to dodge again. Now I'm in non-awaken. What I'm gonna do? That's why we have Firebone Rapture on this skill. This skill have only 4 seconds cooldown. First and foremost, how to transition from non-awaken to awaken and back. If you are in awaken stance, you can just simply use A or D plus RMB and bam, you are in non-awaken. That's the simplest way. You can use it off cooldown, so it's just the best way. I never use C swaps, or as I have it on number 5. Then, from non-awaken, you can just simply click Firebone Rapture and you're back in awaken. Or, you can just use dodge. Your Frostlight. That's also your skill to go into awaken. Also, you can use... what was the name of the skill? I don't remember now. That was Juggernaut, as far as I remember. Yes, Juggernaut. You can use Juggernaut. You're gonna go straight from non-awaken into awaken if you use Juggernaut. So, those skills helps a lot, especially dodge and Firebone Rapture. Because Firebone Rapture is every 4 seconds and dodge is every like 3 seconds. So, if you are not just clicking whatever you click like mindlessly, as long as you're thinking what you're doing, you will never find yourself without a way to transition back into awaken. So, just to show it again, as you're doing your pre-buff, oh, I need to reposition, oh, I need to run. So, the point is that sometimes you're gonna find yourself in a situation like that. That you're just doing whatever, and then you need to run. But then it's very simple to just go back to awaken from any point. And sometimes even if, for example, mob would attack me right now, I can just do something like that, block for a second, and then go back to awaken with the dodge or something like that. It's very easy for Guardian to keep yourself protected in this way. So about the combo, that's how far as it goes. But you can change the order of the skills. It's not the issue. The whole thing is that if you're gonna do it, you're just gonna lose the order of add-ons as it goes. That's not end of the world or something. That's not something you're gonna suffer a lot in PvE. If you will not keep it as it should be, you're gonna lose a tiny fraction of damage. I would say like, I don't know, 5, maybe 10% if you're gonna do it constantly throughout the whole hour or something like that. Maybe less, I don't know. I'm just guessing. The whole thing is that sometimes you will have to change your order of the skills, but then it's not a big deal. Because if you will change the order of the skills, if you're gonna find yourself with messed up cooldowns, you can simply just carry on with your pre-buff, go to non-awaken, use something like that, go back to awaken, and use your pre-buff again. And most likely, you will have your skills back. Just as simply as it is, slow down for a second, think what you need and what you want to do next, which cooldown is, for example, out of order, and adjust with other skills just by using your movement, by jumping around the enemy. Simply wait for that cooldown by filling up with whatever filler you have. The only filler we actually have is this Gatecrusher. So as I showed the combo, the non-awaken Gatecrusher combo is using first Disdain, then you're going into Claw River for this extra critical hit damage and frontal attack. Frontal guard. Then you can either, if you're feeling safe, you can use Avalanche. If you're not feeling safe, just use Fierce Disdain again, and then Gatecrusher. I'm going to show what I mean. The very important thing about Gatecrusher, always use A and right mouse button. As I showed before when I was doing those jumping around, I used this one. This one stuns you. It's usable in very peculiar situation if you want to reposition yourself a bit more, because this one have this step, this forward step. So if you really need to, you can use it, but I highly recommend sticking out to only this one and spamming this one, because this one stuns you in animation for longer and it's just horrible. And then after this one, you cannot use any kind of faster animation on other skills, but from this one, you actually have faster animations. But now, if you feel it, because Avalanche is unprotected. So if you're not feeling comfortable of using that, or you know that you may get stunned or whatever, I highly recommend doing it this way. Doing it this way, you are a bit more protected. Also, you are just simply moving around, so it's harder to hit you. With Gatecrusher, this skill, it's actually a very good skill, one of our better skills. This skill have long animation, very clunky animation, but have a lot of cancels. There's plenty of skill that you can cancel it from. Like, for example, if we're gonna speak only from Awakened perspective, I would say Avalanche, and you have faster animation. And then Fierce Disdain, which gonna be just simply clicking A, right mouse button, and then holding S and F for the quick cancel. And those skills, as I said before, if you're gonna find yourself out of cooldowns and you see, for example, that you messed up something, you've done something like that. You've done something like so, that you just went from this to this, and you did straight away the reposition, and now look, maybe not. Oh, yeah, I was too slow, so I still have it. Sometimes if you have a lot of attack speed, you will find yourself that this skill, which is Dragon Maw, if you're gonna use this shorter version of this combo, you're gonna find yourself that this skill is on like 1 or 2 seconds cooldown, and you don't have it. So in that particular case, you can just simply skip it, go straight to Scornful, and from Scornful you can transition to Non-Awaken. And by doing so, you're gonna cover this uptime period of not having it, and then you can just resume your normal combo. In the normal circumstances, I was using always this shorter version. That was my go-to combo for a very long time. which is something like that. That was my go-to combo for a very long time, and I wasn't using Scornful Slash. Am I right? Yeah, Scornful Slash. I wasn't using this skill at all. I was just going straight back into God Incinerator. The whole point is that I found myself speeding up and doing this combo faster and faster and faster, and especially with Z buff on and everything, it's getting... At some point, I found myself like being so fast that I had this Dragon Maul skill on like a 1-2 seconds cooldown, and instead of damaging enemies, I was just standing in front of them with my keybinds clicked, and I was just like standing and clicking and wondering why nothing's happening. And then I realized I'm just doing the combo a bit too fast. So from that moment onwards, I started to add one more reposition and Scornful Slash. The damage is not bad, the protection is there, healing is there, reposition is there, back attacks are there. So in most of the situation, in most cases, that's completely sufficient and enough to just carry on whatever you're doing. So that's about the combo. That's as simple as it is. The infinite loop combo, which is Fireborn, Flow to Ashes, Glorious Advance, God Incinerator, then reposition into Dragon's Maw, into Flow, into Fang, can be repositioned before Fang, into reposition and into Scornful. That's the main combo we have on the Guardian. I'm gonna show it once more without saying the skills because it's just messing up my my fingers. So it's just simply like that. I'm using a Frost Slide. Was it Frost Slide? I don't know. Frigid Wind. I'm using Frigid Wind for reposition. I very much like this skill because our Frost Slide is not always on cooldown, and Frigid is very fast if you're just gonna click it. And Frigid flows extremely well into Searing Fang. That's why I tend to use it just like that, without this one hit. But I lost my pre-buff of attack speed, so it just messed up the whole thing. So yeah, it just flows very well with this whole thing, and it's very like, for me, I can feel this flow of those skills like going from one to the other. But it's not necessary because you can simply go normal way and just, you know, rotate around your enemy by using Frost Slide, and it also gonna work. So it's completely up to you because the Frost Slide gonna be always up if you're doing it in this particular order. So it's not like you need it. It's there if you, for example, had to reposition yourself a bit more because something was about to attack you, and you, for example, find yourself without a skill to reposition, then Frigid Wind is there for you to actually go on the enemy's back. Guardian movement is very clunky. It's very limited. A lot of skills gonna have body blocks and, well, not even body blocks, but even the smallest stones gonna block you. As if you walk and if you can just lock yourself like that, you will not be able to jump over it. That's horrible, but that's what we have. So the most important thing from our movement list is, as I said before, Frostlight. It's amazing skill. And then we have this one, Fierce Disdain. And that's our typical movement around the pack. Also, we have Frigid. That's our typical movement around the pack, to just jump on the back of the enemy and keep on damaging the enemy. But this thing was covered in the combo section, so I will not go through it again. But then we have skills that offers actual mobility from pack to pack, which I would say I read about, but that's all we have. So, first and foremost, we have this skill. I know people tend to use it to reposition themselves in Awaken and in Succession mostly, and sometimes some people use it in Awaken. I don't like it because, yeah, exactly because of this. Sometimes if you will not click fast enough, you're gonna find yourself using Avalanche Strike. Because the whole reason, the whole purpose of this thing is just, the mobility from pack to pack, but you're gonna have animation blocks, not animation, but body blocks and stuff like that. You cannot go through enemy. It's unprotected, and that's a movement, especially if you're chasing something or someone, but it's slow anyway. Addons not chasing anyone, so I can see some uses, but I know how to use it, but I never actually been using it, because it's just gimmicky and very off, I would say. And this skill requires you to start sprinting. So when you are dashing forward using sturdy step, no, not like that, sturdy step, this one, W plus shift, you just gonna find yourself just, like jumping front, and that's it. So if you're gonna keep W, you will not go into the block stance, but you're just gonna keep moving forward. That's very important, because if you're just gonna click it, then you're just gonna start blocking. It's useful, but if you want to move forward, you need to keep your W. Then, if you want to use this very particular gimmicky attack I just done that pushes you forward, you need to start sprinting and then click LMB. So start sprinting, LMB, start sprinting, LMB, start sprinting, LMB. Oh, and if you're gonna click it slow enough, which is Shift plus LMB, because sprint is shift, you're just gonna use Avalanche. That's why, as I said, I don't very much like it, because depends how fast you're clicking, depends how good you are at it. It's, well, I'm not fan of this thing, because it requires you to pay attention to your character steps and fits, like as she starts to accelerate into the sprint, you need to click it to cancel it ASAP. That's why I wouldn't consider it as a movement. I'm always moving from pack to pack in completely different way. I never use it. I've seen people on YouTube using this. If you wish so, I'm mentioning it here, so it's there, but I honestly recommend using other ways to move around the packs. Important mentions for Guardian movement. Some skills have body blocks, and some does not. Which? In Awaken, if you're gonna use Frost Slide, like so, see, I'm blocked by this enemy here. But if I'm gonna use the side or back movements on my Frost Slide, I can go through enemy. But if you try to dodge forward, because we can dodge forward on the Frost Slide, we cannot go through enemy. That's the first thing. Second thing, the forward movement is a bit shorter than side movement and the back movement, as far as I remember. But that's not important right now. The important thing is, if you are surrounded by enemies and you want to dance around it, do back attacks and stuff, you need to know which attack goes through enemy, which one goes not. And then it applies also to movement from pack to pack, because, for example, in Giffin, you will find yourself, especially when you kill the Despair, that there is a lot of monsters and you need to dance around them and, somehow move around them to be able to go to another pack. So, this thing, Frost Slide, lets you go through enemy. First Disdain also lets you go through enemy, both sides. So yeah, it's fine. But also you can, if you're gonna move your camera very quickly, you can just practically move it in place. Then, from the movement, you also have space and right mouse button, which blocks you. I'm gonna show it here. Ta-dam! It blocks us. Then we have Frigid, which lets you pass through enemies, which is amazing. Then we have our Phoenix. Where is it? Infernal Nemesis. This skill lets you go through enemies and everything. It's very good, disengage and stuff like that, but that's, rather long cooldown. So yeah, it is what it is. Then we have non-awaken, because that's all in terms of awaken movement. That's all we have. We also have W plus F, which is Juggernaut, but this Juggernaut, well, it looks like it passes through enemies, but it actually does not. If there is plenty of enemies in front of you, you're just gonna be going straight into them, and it's gonna just look simply like that. Let me show you with the wall. You're just gonna go like that into the enemies, and that's it. You will not move. You can wiggle camera and change directions and stuff, so you can move around your enemy and stuff like this. But as you can see, if I'm gonna hit him, I'm just blocked on him. So it's better to use outside of the packs if you want to cover a larger distance. So that's all about awaken. Then we have non-awaken movements. Non-awaken movements, we have things like W plus RMB, which is what it is. Omiwas Objurgation, whatever. I don't know how to even pronounce it. But this skill locks you on enemy. It's not going through, which is very important because it's actually amazing skill. The damage is there, the movement speed buff and stuff like that. This skill is actually very good. I like this skill in both PvE and PvP. It's actually very good, but it does not let you go through enemies. But we also have Black Blood's Destin. This skill actually goes through enemies and can be channeled into Omiwas. So you can pair these skills to move further and stuff like that. Our normal dodge, which is Sturdy Step, also blocks on enemies. It's not going through them. So we are kind of limited of how and what we can do to go out the pack. But it's not that we cannot do it in any way, or we are actually, struggling. Guardian does not struggle to go out of the pack, and to be honest, I never found myself having an issues with that. So if you have an enemy in front of you, or if you have a pack of enemies in front of you, and you, for example, let's say you are in Crypt of Resting Thoughts, and in that place you're just comboing your enemies, and mostly sometimes you will have like 2-3 enemies still with like a half HP or something. On Guardian, probably you will not bother killing them. You're just gonna jump straight away to other pack and kite and pull the other pack. And these enemies either gonna follow you or not. You just ignore them, whatever. But those enemies may block you, may body block you. Same in Gaifin. If you are in Gaifin, you want to move from pack to pack, but there is a plenty of enemies in front of you, and you're struggling to move. You need to use those skills that lets you pass through. So in situations like that, if you have enemies in front of you, you can just simply go. Let's say you are in Awaken. You just can go like this, and you're out of the pack, and then you can just follow, for example, like that, and you're on another pack straight away. What I've done simply Fierce Disdain into Sturdy Step, into Fierce Disdain again, into Black Blood Destined, into Omiwas. Guardian have kind of okay-ish, this kind of like a burst movement from pack to pack. If the packs are not extremely split apart and you don't need to cover a lot of distance, then Guardian is like actually quite good to move from pack to pack. She does not struggle at all. I'm just gonna show the sample of the movements and stuff like this. I will not be covering every single skill what and how you can do, because we don't have many of those skills to begin with. So it's easier to experiment your own way. I'm going to show you just simple cancels now and stuff like that. Like, for example, from W plus Q, which is Destined, you can go to Shift and Space straight away and just jump around like so. The only thing you want to remember, which is important, whatever you do, you always want to finish with W plus RMB, which is the skill that I will not pronounce again, Omiwas. Let's call it Omiwas and it's fine. Because if you're gonna use the Omiwas as so, you're just gonna use the long animation that are gonna lock you. And it does not cover that much of the distance. But if you're gonna transfer from any other skill, which involves movement, for example, Destined, you will see it's faster animation and I think it's covering tiny bit more distance, but I'm not actually sure about it. It's just faster animation. And also it covers the gaps of protections on other skills. So it's actually good. The same goes with our our rock slide. If you're gonna go into rock slide, you will have jump, 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 and then you can just go straight away like that. And even so, it was not cancelled in the Omiwa was not cancelled, like she wasn't using the shield strike, but it was still faster because it was cancelled from the animation to the animation, so it was still faster anyway. So I highly recommend you to use Omiwas as always as the finisher of your movement. If you're moving from pack to pack, whichever movement you wouldn't use, for example, you want to use like so because you don't need more, and it's still fine. Just always finish with Omiwa because it's just gonna be faster and a bit more fluid and a bit smoother. But beside that, the like a typical pack to movement you're gonna use probably gonna be first disdain into sturdy into first disdain and for example into frost slide, because you don't need to cover a lot of distance to be able to do like most of the things. The crucial thing on Guardian is to learn to utilize her limited movement to the best extent. That's the crucial thing about Guardian and whatever you're gonna do on this class. If you will learn how to move around the packs in the most efficient way, if you're gonna learn how to move from pack to pack in the most efficient way, you're gonna find yourself playing Guardian a bit better, faster, and doing way more trash than you would normally do. Because her damage, her combo is extremely simple and extremely easy. Covers a lot of area with AoEs and stuff, so it's solid. But then you need to know how to apply it on the larger area. Therefore, you need to learn a better movement to actually move around and stuff like this. But as I'm saying, we do not have many skills to move around to begin with. You have Sturdy Step, you have Juggernaut, but this one is to just cover a distance if you're not hitting anything, and and then you can click straight away S plus F to go into Nemesis. It's a cancel. So this thing helps a lot from moving from pack to pack, but then to move long distance from pack to pack or from spot to spot, for example, when you are grinding in Crypt, again I'm gonna use this example, and you are on the one spot, you clear the whole spot, and then you want to move on to the other room. If you want to move to the other room, most likely you're just gonna go like this, and on the very end you're just gonna go like this, and you're probably gonna be in another spot or something like that. This thing, what I've clicked, I wanted to do something completely different, but I just got Pepega brain and I just screwed it up. But the whole point is that that's all you're probably gonna be doing, which gonna be something like that. Just moving from pack to pack. But then as you're following those skills up, you're gonna get more and more proficient in those skills. You will learn the cooldowns, you will learn what you can jump over, what you cannot jump over, which skills push you a bit more and stuff like that. So that's just the method of trials and errors to actually learn it. For example, like this, you can do it like so, and this skill alone push you great distance, so you can just spam it to some extent to move around, but it's not that hard and everything. So as I'm saying, the whole movement of Guardian is limited, so we need to use and learn how to use whatever we have, whatever this class offers. Most of the time when I was running in Crypt, from a spot to spot, just to show a sample, I was just fighting the mobs. Then when I was just, finishing up the pack or something, I was doing something like that. Just to go out, then follow with this, and then something like so. Sometimes, if it was required, if I don't know, I was too far or I messed up something or I needed to cover a bit more distance, I was adding something else, which was from this skill you can use this and then follow up with this, which is bear with me a second because I forgot the names. From the stand you can go into Rabam, which is Mountain Echo, into Rock Slide. But you can also go into Rock Slide and then into Rabam. It doesn't matter which one you're gonna use. The only thing you need to remember, as I said before, you need to remember about always finishing it with Omiwas. So that's it for the Guardian movement. It can be used. I could make it a bit more in depth, honestly, but as I said, it's all we have. That's all we have. Rock Slide, Juggernaut, Sturdy, Fierce Disdain. Then we have Frost Slide, Frigid, and Infernal Nemesis. And then we can sometimes use Mountain's Echo. Now for useful tips and tricks and stuff on Guardian. Some of them gonna involve movement, some of them gonna involve damage and stuff like this. It's just gonna be like a bunch of good to know things. So, as I was on the movement a second ago, let's follow with this. So, First Disdain have the Invincible turning the skill PvE only, which is iframe in PvE as you spam it. But keep in mind that this skill is horrible, as every single time you're making a slide, that's protected, and every single time you're making a slash, it's unprotected. So you have a big fat gap on each use. Therefore, it's not fully protected. You can get hit, you can get one shot, you can get whatever. But it can be cancelled to some extent. For example, if you're gonna use it like this. Cause Sturdy Step is also PvE iframe. So you can channel it like so. Then that was like solid 2 second, maybe 3 second iframe without any actual gaps. It's extremely helpful, and especially in Shrine if you're gonna struggle or something. For example, mob is attacking you with some big hit. Oh my god, he's gonna kill me. Then I'm in Awaken. What I'm gonna do? I will not run away. And I don't want to use my Phoenix because Infernal Nemesis is a good skill to run away and stuff like that. So let's keep it as a last resort. So that's what you can do. And then go into Phoenix. As you can see, that was complete, permanent, like solid 4-5 second iframe. So that's one thing. The other thing you can do, you can even extend it by extra second by not clicking anything after Frost Slide. That's called lingering iframe. If I'm gonna just leave it like that, I'm not clicking anything, I'm not doing any inputs, it's that, you know, fraction of the second longer. If I'm gonna do something straight away, it's disappearing straight away. So that's just to keep in mind. If you have issues with staying protected in any way, remember in this game there are lingering iframes and lingering super armors. And as a Guardian, we also do have them. So yes, your panic button movement most likely gonna be First Disdain into Sturdy, into First Disdain, into Frost Slide. That's your panic buttons, which can be extended Fierce. I don't know why I'm thinking about Furry Disdain all the time. It's First Disdain. Anyways, Disdain into Sturdy, into Disdain, into Frostlight, into our Infernal Nemesis. So this thing already protects you quite a lot, and by the time you're gonna finish Infernal Nemesis, you can repeat the whole thing. So it should be like that. Oh yeah, well, you can do it this also. I forgot about dodge first anyway. Because I'm always forgetting about it when you do Infernal and you're gonna click RMB, you're gonna go straight into Frigid. You need to do Frost Slide first to cancel Infernal and then go into Frigid. I'm gonna show it right now. But after Frigid you have an iframe. I'm gonna show it in a second and explain it, but anyways. But like so. Yeah, so that was fully protected movement. You shouldn't die whatever happened. So most of the time you can just run away from almost anything that someone is throwing at you, like even the shrine bosses and stuff. There may be like fraction of the seconds gaps, especially between Frost Slide and Infernal, if you will click it a bit too slow. it may happen, but it still should be fine. Then we have Frigid and Frigid iframe. This one is amazingly good iframe because it's very long, but it's not linger anymore as it was before because they nerfed it. But it's still very good. It's still very good and it's usable, and you can channel it into different skills. So if you, for example, just shoot example, you fighting Gumi, the shrine boss, the nine-tailed fox, and he's using one of those AoE wipes or something. You can just time it second before he gonna blast. You just go into this, then into this, then into this, into this, into this, and ta-dam! You are fully protected. He haven't killed you. At least he shouldn't. Now, when I think about it, can we do it this way or no? Okay. If Gatecrasher is on cooldown and you're gonna click SF in non-awaken, you're gonna go straight into Infernal. So if you're gonna find yourself struggling to survive and you want the panic button even from non-awaken and you're fighting bosses, because I highly don't recommend it in PvE, because in normal PvE this skill is actually very good. But if you need this extra layer of protection, you can lock it. If you're gonna lock it, then I think you can use it from the quick bar, but it's gonna be clunky. The whole point is that if you need this extra layer for protection for particular boss or something, you can lock it, and then you have from non-awaken. If you're gonna click S plus F, you going straight into awaken into Infernal. And I think you can also use Infernal from the quick bar, but whatever you're gonna use from quick bar gonna be always a bit more clunky than used from actual inputs. So that's about the protected movement, iframes, PvE iframes, and survivability. That's very important if you want to, well, do bosses or do any kind of like a harder content that you may like lack DP to actually go and carry on with that. Then we have cancels. For example, if you're gonna go with more, and after more, you have faster animation of Dragon Incinerator. You will not use it in PvE, but in PvP it's actually very good, because in PvP we're using different types of combos and different order of skills to dish out as much damage as we possibly can. Then, from Shift plus F, which is Cleansing Flame, you have faster animation on Dragon Maw, and then you have faster animation on God Incinerator. So, as you can see, those skills flow amazingly nice into each other. But also, if you want, you can go Shift F and then straight away Shift RMB, which also have a faster animation. This is not something that you're gonna straight away notice. If you're gonna play Guardian a bit longer, especially if you're using pre-buff to, you know, keep this buff uptime of 30% attack speed all the time, you're gonna find yourself that some skills starting to be very fast, very fluent and stuff like that. It's because PA gave us some connections and transitions between skills, which are not extremely fast, but are a tiny bit faster than normal animation. And for example, if you're gonna use Dragon Maw, after Dragon Maw, Soaring Fang is also a bit faster. I think, honestly, it's faster after Cleansing Flame, but whichever you're gonna use, it's still gonna be faster than normal raw cast. Same goes with, for example, Shift MQ, which is God's Incinerator. God's Incinerator is, as you can see, she's lifting the Jordun, sticking it in the ground, and then pulling it back up. But you can also speed up the whole animation like this. That's just a tiny fraction of the second faster, but for the Guardian, who is extremely slow anyway, it's always amazing addition. And as I said before, you can use it after this, which is very, very fast. But that's more like PvP thing. It's good to keep it in mind that there are things like that you can cancel something into something and it's gonna be faster. I think they added lately after this thing, yes, after using Scalding Thorn, going into God Incineration is faster. And I think even if we're doing my normal combo, yeah, it's still faster. after Glorious Advance, the animation after Glorious Advance cancel, Shift Q, which is God Incinerator, is always a bit faster than normal cast. So things like that are extremely important to utilize on Guardian, because, well, you're just gonna speed up your castings and everything. The faster you attack, the faster you move, the faster you do things, the faster you're gonna kill the mobs, the faster you're gonna, clear up the pack, the more trash you will get, the more money you will earn, the better gear you will get, endless loop and stuff like this. What else from useful tips I can have? It's not very useful, but sometimes I'm using it as just the play around thing, which is from Fireborn Rapture, you can go straight into the iframe of Frigid. It's a cancel, but it's like a gimmick. It's faster than the whole animation of Frigid Wind, because the Frigid Wind requires you to to slide, then hit, and then go into this thing. So it's faster. If you know that you will die by doing the whole animation and you don't know what to do, you are panicking and stuff, just go like this and it's fine. It's just this tiny bit faster. Also from the useful tips and things like this, when you are attacking mobs, try to always when you're attacking mobs with Dragon's Maw, try to always position yourself a bit more on the right side. Like, your left hand should face mob a bit more. If you're gonna do it the other way around, you're gonna miss it most likely. I'll try to show it. I know, it actually hit this time. Wow, amazing. The point is that it's very gimmicky. I'm a bit on the with your left hand to the enemy, because then you're gonna cover way more area. As you can see, I'm hitting even this mob here, because this AoE is not actually like a gigantic cone in front of you or something, but it's a bit more like cone on the angle. It's like cut in the weird way. That's why if you're gonna position yourself on like something like that, even if sometimes you will see the mob got hit, it's just getting hit from the lava field that this thing creates, because this thing have this Yordun fire effect that creates the lava field and stuff like this. So it's kind of annoying. Sometimes if you're gonna find yourself with the pack of mobs in front of you, you will see that some mobs on the right side of your characters not getting hit. That's why I'm always using Cleansing Flame to just go back this one step, and then positioning myself tiny bit with the left hand facing the mob, so it's always hitting all of them. Because as you can see, this AoE is really good and it's very big. So it's and the damage, that's one of our biggest damages. So it's amazing to actually cover all areas and stuff. And is there any more useful tips I would mention? There is one, which is our ebuff. Our ebuff that gives us 20% critical hit damage. If you are on any kind of spot, remember to rotate on your ebuff. For example, the new spots like it's not that new anymore, but Kadri, or for example, like, I don't know, Dokkaebi or something, or even Ash Forest 2. All those spots can have a boss of some sort that gonna show up every now and then. You can use your 3-minute buff as a timer to know when the boss is gonna show up and do something. That's one thing. And the other thing, for example, on Kadri, you can use it to just simply wipe out the boss way faster. Because, as I mentioned on the very beginning of this video, Guardian passive gives us critical hit damage. That's amazing stuff. Then you have extra critical hit damage from your ebuff. And as I stated before with Addons, I'm always focusing on critical hit damage from Addons. So I'm trying to stack up as much critical hit damage as is possible. Plus, if you're gonna go into crystals, I'm always using critical hit damage crystals. I never use the back attack ones, because these are only good, in my opinion, in very like specific spots, like can be used in Orzakia or can be used in Gaifin or Trolls or something. So just for the sake of just keeping my tests and my gameplay very consistent and just, not have a lot of, changes and everything, I'm always just skipping it like so for the simple purposes of just not bothering with stuff. So yeah, that's it. That's all about the Guardian guide combo and stuff. With this guide, I'm gonna review it now and then, and if there gonna be any buffs, any changes for Guardian, anything that is worth changing or mentioning, I'm gonna be adding it. This VOD gonna end up on my YouTube at some point. And yes, I'm also going to be creating other guides for Succession Guardian, probably for Mystic, and Succession and Awaken, probably other characters I'm playing and stuff like that. For now, I'm just focusing on Guardian because that's my main. But yes, that's it. If you find it helpful, just please give it a follow or something. Like leave a comment, whatever your opinion is. Should I add something? Should I change something? What your thoughts about the combo and everything is? If you found it helpful, just tell me. Just tell me that it helped you either build your own combo on it or that you enjoyed it or whatever. It's gonna make a big difference for me because I'm starting all this thing and I'm still learning how to do it properly, how to do it like in the best possible way, because I see, especially on Guardian Discord, there is a plenty of new people that are looking for help, that are looking for guides and looking for directions, how to play this class, how to utilize the skills and everything. If I missed something, I can just add it. I can just make another, like a short VOD and just keep it covered. So if you feel that it helped you, amazing, let me know. If you feel that I'm missing something, also let me know. Thank you, and yes, I'm gonna be adding combo, like not combo, but grind samples, like not even samples, like a full hour grinds, probably even today. So for now, thank you everyone who watched it. Thank you everyone who enjoyed it, and thank you who will watch it in the future. So that's it, and for now, I'm tuning out.